All right, Pete, we're going to be moving on and talking about Chelsea. Now, can you give us an update, please, on Michael Alisson? Is there an update on that, potentially him moving from Selhurst Park to Stamford Bridge potentially this summer?
Yeah, it's an ongoing situation with Michael Alisson and Chelsea. We know Chelsea are huge fans of Alisson. They tried to sign him last summer and thought they were going to get their man before he ended up signing a new deal at Crystal Palace. Chelsea have made contact with Palace to register their interest in Alisson, suggesting they are ready to meet his release clause, which is around £60 million plus add-ons, which looks a decent fee when you see the class of Alisson and what he could bring to Chelsea as well. So it's not just Chelsea who are interested in Alisson as well, so it won't be a straightforward one for them. You've got the likes Manchester United, Newcastle, Bayern Munich, and I'm sure you've got Liverpool and maybe Manchester City waiting in the wings to try and make a move for Alisson as well. If these release clauses are triggered, I'm sure there'll be other clubs in that race to sign the Frenchman as well. So yeah, I think Chelsea right now are probably front runners for Alisson. Again, Palace aren't giving up hope that they could maybe keep hold of the attacker as well. They are having talks with Alisson to see if they can persuade him to stay. I think they're trying to work on the fact that they had such a sort of positive end to the season when Alisson and Eze were both fit in the team and they were scoring goals, winning games, and under the new management of Oliver Glasner as well. So they're not giving up hope that they could persuade Alisson to stay like they did last season as well when he was expected to move. But yeah, I think it's more and more, it does look like Alisson will potentially move on this summer. And as I said, Chelsea want to be in the box seat to get that deal done, and they have firmed up their interest and are stepping up the hunt to try and get a deal done as quickly as possible for the goal-scoring midfielder to sort of win the race for him before other clubs join the hunt for his signature.
There was some talk, Pete, potentially maybe a like-for-like replacement with Mykhailo Mudryk. He might be leaving the club this summer. Have you got an update on that for us, please, and actually who he could potentially move to this summer?
Yeah, obviously, if Alisson does come in, it does increase competition for places at Chelsea. They've got a number of wingers at the club. When you look at it, they've got Modric, Raheem Sterling, Madueke as well. So they're well stocked in that wide midfielder stroke winger position. Modric obviously came to Chelsea in a blaze of glory 18 months ago, but we just haven't seen the best of him. Obviously, he's away at the Euros right now with Ukraine, and he's been tipped to have a big tournament for them, but obviously they get off to a bad start. I think for Modric right now, the focus will probably be on the Euros, but I think for him, new manager again, going into Chelsea this summer, he'll be hoping when he does return for pre-season, can he go in and impress Enzo Maresca and try and become a key man in that Chelsea side as well. So it's a clean slate for everybody at Chelsea this summer. There's a new management team following the departure of Mauricio Pochettino, but if Chelsea were to go in and bring in Alisson and potentially other players in the summer transfer window, it does raise question marks over the likes of Modric and others as well. And I'm sure if Modric finds himself down that pecking order, he might try and engineer a move away from Stamford Bridge, because I'm sure he'll want to play regular first-team football. And although he's not had a great time at Chelsea, there's enough on his CV to suggest that there'll be a number of clubs who'd be willing to take a chance.
And Paul, talking about deals that are ongoing, we know that John Duran deal might have hit a stumbling block potentially. Do you see that deal happening? And what would he bring to the Chelsea side?
Well, he brings goals, but he's a player. I mean, he had an impact at Villa last season. Didn't he come off the bench more so rather than starting games? But he's in the mould of what Chelsea are signing. He's a young talent with great potential who's already proved that he can do it at the top level. But he's of the age bracket of the players that Chelsea are bringing in for the future. I like him. I think he's really strong. I think he obviously knows where the goal is. He's not afraid to take his opportunities. With Ollie Watkins there, he's obviously not had the opportunities that he wants because of the formation that Unai Emery plays. He plays with a lone striker quite often, but Duran can play as a 9, but he can play in those wide areas as well, off the main striker. Listen, he's a player that I like, and they put the point that Pete made earlier about Onana at Everton. I've seen him play for Belgium, and he looks a better player for Belgium because he's surrounded by better players. And I think Duran's that type of player as well. You put him in a team with better players, I think he'll go on to a different level.
Pete, we know that they had a bid rejected as well for Atletico striker Samu Omaridian as well. Do you think that number 9 is the clear target for Chelsea? And could they go back in for Omaridian potentially? Or do you think they will continue to pursue this Duran deal and try and get it over the line?
Yeah, we know the number 9 position is a key priority for Chelsea. It has been for the last couple of transfer windows. That were very much interested in Victor Osimhen last summer, but were unable to get a deal done for him due to the expense involved in signing the Napoli striker. So, yeah, obviously we know Nicholas Jackson came in last summer. I thought he came in for a bit of harsh criticism. I thought he did a decent job in his first season in the Premier League. He scored goals. He did miss chances like all strikers do, but again, I think he could come good for Chelsea in the long term. But as you said, they've been looking at John Duran. There's been talks between Chelsea and Villa. Again, it's a bit of a case of maybe selling because of PSR regulations. Villa need to sell players to sort of boost the coffers and balance the books. Duran is somebody that Chelsea have been looking at for a while. They tried to sign him in January window. Now looking at him again this summer, but it does look like the deal has stalled and they have moved on to Amorodian from Atletico Madrid. Again, a bit of an unknown talent probably. He's had one season on loan at Alaves last year after being signed by Atletico from Granada last August. He's not even played a game for Atletico Madrid yet, so for Chelsea to make it a move for him does come as a bit of a surprise. But he is that sort of typical number 9 that they are looking for right now. He's tall, quick, physically imposing, so he's got all the attributes you think that could be a success in the Premier League. But for me, he's a bit untested, having just one season with Granada and then one season with Alaves. And I think he scored 8 goals in 35 games for Alaves last season as well, so it's not like he's prolific. But yeah, Chelsea have had a first bid of around £27 million rejected. I am expecting them to come back with another bid, an improved offer to try and tempt Atletico to sell, but Atletico themselves could lose a couple of forwards of their own this summer, with Morata potentially moving, Antoine Griezmann possibly moving as well. So it'll have to be a big offer, I think, from Chelsea to persuade Atletico to cash in on Amorodian. So again, Chelsea are obviously keeping their options open. They've got talks ongoing for Duran. They've got talks ongoing for Amorodian as well. So I think they've yet to make their mind up on who they really want to sign.
And how about exits, Pete? Are there any potential names that we could see leave Stamford Bridge pre-June 30th, potentially?
Yeah, obviously there's one deal very close to happening, is Ian Maatsen from Chelsea to Aston Villa. Again, they had a great spell on loan at Borussia Dortmund last season, reaching the Champions League final with some standout performances for the German club. And then he received that call up to the Netherlands squad for the Euros as well. But yeah, Chelsea are open to letting Maatsen go. They feel they're well stocked at left back with Chilwell and Cucurella and everything else. And Maatsen, after that spell on loan at Dortmund, is ready to be playing regular first team football on a consistent basis. And Villa can offer him Champions League football as well. So yeah, it looks like it's a good deal for Chelsea. They're getting over £37.5 million for Maatsen as well. So that's going to help them in their PSR regulations as well. And as I said, I think there'll be other players potentially leaving before that June 30th deadline. Armando Broja, who's away at the Euros at the minute with Albania, he's another player that Chelsea are open to offers for before that June 30th as well. There's been a bit of interest in him from AC Milan, plus a few English clubs as well. So he's another one that I would think could move on before that June 30th deadline. And selling both of those players probably for, as I said, Maatsen 37.5 million, maybe Broja the 25 to 30 million pound mark, would go a long way to helping Chelsea comply with those FFP and PSR regulations.
You've just watched a segment from Football Insider's brand new podcast, The Inside Track, with me, Lewis Pearce, alongside the guests on the show. Thanks very much for tuning in. Please do give the video a like, comment your thoughts on the topic, and feel free to share on your social media pages. If you want to listen to the full podcast episode, click the link in the description below. Keep your eyes peeled for plenty more content and exclusives here on The Inside Track.